Sup guys, welcome back to my channel. As we know, getting good at identifying chords and chord progressions by ear requires a bunch of different skills. And one such important skill is building a repertoire of chord progressions that we are familiar with. In essence, one good way of identifying chords and chord progressions from a song is to compare it with a list of chord progressions that we already know and are very familiar with, and select the most probable one. To do this, we first need to have a list of chord progressions that we are very familiar with, and this is what we'll call our repertoire of chord progressions. In this video, we'll run through 5 common chord progressions used in thousands of songs worldwide, as well as a couple of minor variations for some of the progressions that you need to add to your repertoire of chord progressions. Before we move on, here are some actionable steps that I highly encourage you to take for each chord progression, as they can really increase your chances of being able to recognize these progressions in new songs you've never heard before. First, I highly recommend that you keep track of a dictionary of songs for each chord progression. When you learn a new song either by ear, by sheet music, or by googling, take note of the chord progressions used inside the song, and collect a list of songs that use each chord progression and write it down somewhere. This way, you can have a better idea of the similarities between songs that use each chord progression, and hence have a better understanding of how each progression should sound. Also, I highly recommend that you improvise, or at least attempt to improvise with the chord progressions that you know. By attempting to improvise, you are essentially forcing yourself to have a better understanding of how each progression works and sounds, and this can also drastically improve your chances of being able to recognize these progressions. For simplicity's sake, this entire video will be in a key of C major, and without further ado, let's dive right in. The first progression we need to know is probably the most common progression on this entire planet. It goes 1st, 5th, minor 6th, 4th, which translates to C, G, A minor, F in the key of C major. Here's how it sounds. There are literally thousands and thousands of songs that use this progression throughout, and here are 2 examples: Hey Soul Sister by Train and I'm Yours by Jason Mraz. Notice the feel that this progression brings to these songs, and also how similar these 2 songs sound and feel. More examples of songs that use this chord progression are listed down in the description below too, so do check them out in your own time to hear the similar feel and sound that this progression adds to the table. The second progression we need to know is a close competitor with the first in terms of how often it's used, and goes minor 6, 4th, 1st, 5th, which translates to A minor, F, C, G in the key of C major, and here's how it sounds. There are also thousands and thousands of songs that use this progression, and here are another 2 examples: the verse from 21 Guns by Green Day, and the chorus of Rewrite the Stars from The Greatest Showman. Once again, notice how this progression feels and also how similar the 2 sections sound due to this progression. You can find more examples down in the description below, and do check them out at your own time. The third progression you need to have in your repertoire has 7 to 8 chords, and the first 5 chords go like this: 1st, 5th, minor 6, 5th, 4th, which in the key of C major translates to C, G, A minor, G, F. There are multiple variations of the 2 or 3 chords that come after, depending on the feel of the song, but these variations normally feel pretty similar to one another. The first such variation goes 5th then 1st, which translates to G then C in the key of C major. As such, this entire variation goes C, G, A minor, G, F, G, C, and here's how it sounds. Here's an example of a song that uses this variation, Love Me by Phil Collins. Another such variation goes like this: C, G, A minor, G, F, C, G, and here's how it sounds. And here's an example of a song that uses this variation, 21 Guns by Green Day. Notice how similar these variations sound even though the chord progressions might be slightly different. I've included more variations of the same chord progression down in the description below, as well as some examples for each variation, so do check them out in your own time and give them a try. The fourth progression you need to have in your repertoire has 3 variations. Each variation starts with the same 2 chords, the 4th chord and then the 5th chord, which translates to F and G in the key of C major. The 3 variations go like this: F, G, E minor, A minor, F, G, C, and F, G, A minor. This is how the first variation, F, G, E minor, A minor sounds. And an example of a song that uses this progression is Viva La Vida by Coldplay. This is how the second variation, FGC, sounds. And an example of a song that uses this progression is Love Me by Phil Collins. And last but not least, this is how the third variation, F, G, A minor sounds. And an example of a song that uses this progression would be Sadness and Sorrow from the Naruto series. Notice that these 3 variations sound pretty similar in a way, despite having different chords for the second half of the progression. The 5th and last progression you need to know is the 1st, minor 6, 4th, 5th chord progression, which translates to C, E minor, F, G in the key of C major, and here's how it sounds. A song that uses this progression will be Perfect by Ed Sheeran, and here's an example of how it sounds. Once again, I highly encourage you to keep track of the progressions you know as well as the songs that use them, as this can really help you familiarize yourself faster with these progressions. I also highly recommend trying to improvise using different chord progressions in your repertoire to further strengthen your understanding of each progression. With that, thanks for watching, and I hope this video has provided you with value in some way. If it has, do consider giving this video a like, as it really helps out this channel in the long run. Also, do consider subscribing if you haven't already if you don't wish to miss more similar content. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.